Hello everyone, welcome back to our class for programming, computer and programming. Today I would like to continue with our topic on arrays. Arrays is quite easy. Well, I can say easy for everything because I'm a lecturer, but if you were to look at the definition, it's not that complicated. You can read it here. Arrays are just something that is used to store multiple values in a single variable. Okay, just within this sentence alone should be able to help you to understand that arrays are not that difficult to use. I would rather use examples to illustrate what it means, but let's have a look at some of the definition here on this page. By the way, I'm using w3schools.com. You can always refer to here for all references regarding computer related topics, including programming using C++. Okay, so just like in any variable, you have to declare it. It's just that the way to declare it is a bit different. You have to use a square bracket. Okay, what does this square bracket means? Right, you can read it all here, but it would be easier for me to explain if I were to use an analogy. Okay, in my mind, array is like a train where you have coaches behind it. So instead of declaring just one variable name, you can have one name, but the rest of it is referred to in numbers. Okay, let me show you what I mean. Okay, let's say we have an array which has 4 elements in it. Okay, 4 coaches. Yeah, for a train you have 4 coaches, just like this one. So let's say your array is called cars, C-A-R-S, and you have specified that you want to have 4 elements in it, and the 4 elements are the names of car models. Okay, like Volvo, BMW, Ford and Mazda. So these are the values that you stored in the array. So instead of naming 4 variables, you only have to name it once, and you just have to store your values in each of the elements. Okay, you can also store numbers or integers. In this case, the array name is mynum, and you specify that it has 3 elements, and these are the elements, these are the values 10, 20 and 30. Okay, yeah, I let you go through an example and see how you can manipulate it, and how you can do things with arrays. But for me, it's not so much about a new topic, but rather a new way of using variables. Okay, you can read on the topic here at w3schools.com, or you can also go to w3resource.com. Okay, so that these are the main 2 resources that I use online to refer when I'm doing my programming. So let's have a look at the example that I've set out for you. Create an array of 5 random integers and find the smallest. I will go through with the example. I'm not too sure whether I can get it right. As usual, you can always do it together. Okay, so this is how I will declare the variable. So it will have integer values. So let's call the array number. Yeah, number is numbers in Malay, and it has 5 elements in it. Let's have a look at how we define the variable. So this is how you do it. So you just copy it. Okay, you don't have to type it. That's how convenient the world has come. So you just copy it. Yay! So instead of this, because this example is using strings, so what you have to do is convert this into numbers. So when the question asks you for 5 random numbers, just type in 5 integers, you know. I'm just typing random numbers here, so I leave it to you to find your numbers. You know, I like 15, so why not? Right, so there you have it, an array with the size of 5. There is 5 elements in this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you just put values in it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we can use this variable. Okay, for example, let's start with how you want to display it. Okay, to display a variable, you cannot just say cout array name, for example. We can't do that. Okay, to access or to display array, you have to use a loop. Okay, either while or for. Since I've shown you how to use the for loop, so we'll use that instead. Okay, as usual, see how I always type the loop. I start with for, I start with the bracket and then the curly bracket, and only then I set out the values inside the structure. Okay, so that you will never miss out any components. I will start with 0. I will explain to you why I start with 0. Normally when I use for, I will always use 1 here, remember, if you notice that. But for array, always start with 0. I will get back to you why we need to do that. Okay, I is less than 5 because there are 5 elements in it, and I need to increment by 1. Okay, great. So how do you display it? Again, you use cout, but in this case you cannot just say the array, you have to say the array with the number. Okay, so this is how you should do it. Right. Okay, just to make it nicer, we put a space in between the numbers so that it looks nicer. Okay, so what I'm doing now, before I click on the run button, what I'm trying to do now is that I'm accessing each of the array's elements by their numbers. Okay, I would like to let you know here that the numbers, the position of this starts with 0. So let's say you have 5 elements, the number starts with 0, so the address here is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and that's why this one starts with 0 and the limit is less than 5. Okay, let's see what happens if you run this. Right, so this is the output. Have a look. Exactly the same like what we have declared the array to be: 25, 98, 57, 2 and 15. Exactly the same. So this is how you access an array. Okay, access means how you get the value and display it. Okay, you can, once you know how to get the values, you can now play around with it, you can manipulate it, including on how to make it, how to find the smaller number. Alright, so to find the smallest number, the easiest technique would be to define a variable and put in a value, a big value, because if you want to find the smallest number, initialize it with the biggest value that you can. If you want to find the biggest number, initialize with the smallest number that you can, which is 0. Okay, so let's declare this variable, this new variable. Kecil, by the way, means small. So yeah, so I would like kecil to be the smallest number, no, to be the variable that we store the smallest number from this array. Okay, so just do a simple if the number that we are accessing is smaller than the kecil there, then we store kecil with the new number. Okay, that's all. If number is smaller than kecil, now kecil is equal to number. Are you following up to here? Yeah, I hope you are, because this is how the algorithm for finding the smallest number. Okay, I hope you are following me step by step, because if you don't, if you wait until the end and only copy the final program, yes, you will get the answer, but I'm afraid you will not understand the flow of how we get to that particular answer. Okay, but if you were to follow me from the beginning, then you will understand why we put certain things there. Okay, let's put in a simple cout at the bottom to say what is the smallest number. All right, The smallest number is what? All you have to do is now print out the variable, the kecil variable. Okay, so you don't have to know which one. So with this algorithm, the program will tell you which number is the smallest. Okay, let's see. See what's the problem now? I hope you notice the problem here. There are 5 answers, and the correct answer is the last 2, because I asked the program to print out every time the for loop is running, so I should have printed here. Okay, so let's run this instead. So if you were to wait until the end, you will not notice all this error that I've done. Okay, so let's do this, and the answer is 2. Okay, you notice that 25, 98, 72, 15, so it gives the right answer. If you want to check, why don't you change the numbers and see if you can still get the right answer. Why do I always type number 2? Why don't we type number 9 instead now? Okay, and let's run it. 9, yay, it's still correct. That's it. See you in the second example. Thank you. Oh, before that, as usual, copy everything and save it somewhere safe for you to study later on. Okay, see you in the second example. Bye. So let's go to our second example. So I would like you to create a program that asks the user to enter 10 integers and then find the average. Okay, so this is a typical question that I normally ask whenever I'm at the array topic. Okay, you will see that it will not be efficient for you to write 10 different variable names just for you to accept 10 integers from the user. Okay, this is where you need to use an array. Okay, so for this particular question, all you have to do is declare a variable just with the size. Okay, so you want 10, so put down 10 there. Okay, don't worry about the array name, just use the same. You can change it, of course, but I leave that one out to you. Okay, right, so clear everything and let's create something new. Okay, as usual, whenever you want to ask the user to enter something, you type in cout first, right? Okay, so this is how I do it. Yes, I'm not saying that I forgot that I have to ask 10 times, but just bear with me for a bit, and this is how I normally answer an array question. Okay, normally I will type in what I need to repeat. Okay, only then I do the loop. Okay, please enter number. What number? Okay, and then the second line is the cin statement, remember? Right, so only then I type in cin something something, please enter something something. Right, so this is the structure that you need. So because you need to do it 10 times, obviously it will be easier for you to use something than declaring a variable 10 times. So now that you know array and you know that you have to use a loop, so why don't we leverage on that and we use a loop to actually fill up your array values, array elements. Okay, so remember it starts with 0, so since it has 10 elements, so it's less than 10, so you increment it one by one. So by now I hope you know the shortcut of incrementing one by one. You can just type in plus plus. Yeah, right. So over here you can manipulate that as well to make it look nicer. So instead of just that, you can put I here. By putting I, what you've done is that the question will appear, please enter number 1, like so. Okay, please enter number 2, and so on. Okay, and where you want to store it, you want to store it in the array. So you address the array this way. Okay, right. You might notice that I put in I plus 1 here. Okay, because we start with 0, that's why you need to plus 1, so that the number goes out, printed out nicely. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So, but before that, I would like to just create a loop to print it out, so that we know that we have done everything correctly. So you just have to copy the same loop and just print out the values. Okay, I just want the values, that's all. I just want the values. In the exam, okay, just since we are still here on this topic, I would like to bring this up. In the exam, I will only give marks for the completeness of your program that answers the question. Okay, if you're not asked to print out the numbers, then I will not mark you for that. But this is good for you to check if you have done everything correctly. Okay, the top part is for you to enter the marks, enter the numbers, sorry. The second loop is for you to check if the numbers is correctly stored in the array. Okay, so the italic are comments, you will not run, so it's just something for you to read, so you remember what you've done. Alright, so yeah, so don't forget to declare I, because you've used I there. Okay, don't ask me why I use I, because programmers always start with I suppose it's easy to remember. Okay, let's run this. Enter number 1, see, enter number 1, 5. Okay, just any number. Remember that it's an integer. Okay, I'm just pressing anything here. Okay, so the next line is to print out the same sequence of numbers again. So just to check, you entered number 5, so the first number is 5, 645, 645, 6, 45, and so on. Okay, so yeah, so you've created a program that repeats itself 10 times, that asks you to enter a number, and you've entered the number and stored it in an array, and the last line just showed you that yes, you stored it and you stored it correctly, and now you can do something about it. Okay, so what you want to do is to answer the question which asks you to do, to find out the average. Okay, what needs to be done when you want to find the average? You find the total first. Okay, so use the second loop. I commented out this line because you don't want to use it anymore. So find the total. Okay, how do you want to find the total? Total plus the number in the iteration again. Okay, which is this number. Don't forget that. And whenever, what did I do? Oh, no, what is that? Okay, whenever you use a total, a new variable here, don't forget first to initialize it. Okay, two things, always remember, initialize it with 0. Okay, for to find total, initialize it 0, and don't forget to declare it at the top. Two things, always remember. Okay, so before you end, don't forget to find the average. All you have to do is do let's see out, type the semicolon, the average is what? I will show you the wrong way to do it, and then we correct it together. Okay, if you were to do it like this, what will happen? What will happen? See what will happen and see whether we need to correct it or not. Okay, let's run it. Let's see if we can enter the same number. Okay, no, if you put in the same number, the answer will be the same. So okay, is it 5? Is the average is 5? Are you sure is that's the right answer? Let's have a look. Okay, 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, 14, 20, 29, 36, 36, 44, 44, 53, 58. 58 divided by 10 is not 5. It's 5.8, remember? But the answer is 5. Why is it 5? The program does not give out an error. That means the program itself is correct, but we know that the answer is not right. So where is the error here? Okay, if you remember in the first or second class, when we talk about data type, remember there are integers, there are double, there are floats, there are long numbers, there are strings, there are all sorts of data types. Okay, and each of these data types has its own limits and uses. Okay, so when it comes to numbers, whenever you want to use decimal numbers or big numbers, I always use double. Okay, and if you want to calculate an average, I normally use this way. Okay, you declare two extra variables, which is the total and average. Total can be 0. Yes, just to be sure, put out the average here. And you type out the variable here and see if you will get the answer correctly this time. Or you have to type in 10 numbers. Yeah, so next time if you want to test it, you can use a smaller number so that you can quicker. Okay, 5.9. right? So this should be correct, but I leave it to you to check this one out. It should be correct. 5, 11, 14, 16, 22, 27, 32, 36. Why do I enter 23 here? 36, 23, 59. Yes, 5.9. 59 divided by 10, 5.9. Correct. So yeah, there you have it. So as usual, copy this and don't forget to save it somewhere so that you remember what to do. And before I end this session, have a look at the homework. I'm very much happy to see you try to use array programming. It's not so much about a new way of doing things, it's just how you try to solve the problem. Try to understand what it means here. You need to ask the user to enter 5 random integers and create a program that can sort the number in ascending order. Okay, I will not stop you from looking at the resources online, but please try to understand how they do it. Okay, so if you don't find that challenging enough, you're more than happy to go to w3resource.com and go to the exercises for array there. They have a list of exercises that you can try, and interestingly enough, they have a sample solution for it, so you can actually learn from the solution that they provide. Okay, so thank you for watching and happy coding.